good evening, and I am sure it's a very good evening. Rainy, yes, in some places, very, very rainy day. But then we give glory to God because the farmers need the rain. And if we really behave very wisely, we can harvest the rain. Rain is never anything other than a blessing. There are showers of blessing, there are torrents of blessings, and of course, if they come with thunderstorm, nice time to just stay with your spouse. So, rain is always a blessing. With that, I welcome you to today's program on your Voice of Liberation, Pensioners FM 106.7. You know that is the place you should keep your dial tuned to because it is time to discuss concepts that develop within our community. What we see today as civilization were once ideas in some people's head. And of course, the future is what we discuss today. So it is time for all of us to come together, discuss things that build peace in our community and order us in the way of development. And if anybody has an opportunity for development, it is Africans, especially Nigerians. I tell you, when you see chaos, it is time to organize. When you see trouble, it is time to come up with solutions. So I am OLUWAKEMI Ademola AREMU, and with me is your concept crew.
Bola Adebi, good evening, listeners.
And
Williams, Aero Nigerians, good evening.
Nigerians, good evening, and all our listeners all over the world, wherever you're listening to us from. It's a bright day over here. Bright because we are hopeful. Yes, the times are challenging. You know, we're thinking, oh, fuel, and we're thinking palm oil. Palm oil costs more than petroleum. So it means, what should we be looking at? And today, I had cause to be telling some people that, do you know that they are even exporting our food away again? What is so special about us that people really want everything that belongs to us? Well, is it that we don't even know our own worth? Do we know our own value? Do we know how we are related to other things? So that is why today we shall be talking about voters. I don't want to just say voters education. It's our education. You want to be voted for. You're going to be voting for some people. I'm going to put that to you, Bola, that what is really the relationship between an individual and the state?
Well, the basic relationship between an individual and the state is power, delegating your powers. People will say we have given our own powers to seek redress, our own powers to enforce our rights, even the common purse, treasury, over to the state, to the government, to handle or to hold in trust for us. So that is basically the relationship. We have handed over our powers, to regulate ourselves, our common purse and every other thing to the government to act on our behalf. But it's sadly
power. That means the ability to get things done. We are saying that we're going to agree to live within a particular territory and that we will be governed in this territory for peace and development. If there is no development, if there is no peace, if there is no justice, you see, there cannot be peace without justice and there cannot be rest without some level of economic sustenance. And human beings need food. We need to be able to live, together in harmony. So when we are saying that, organize us, help us construct. We gave the assignment to some people. Help us. So what do you think?
If you say organize us, you must be clear about what you want to be organized around.
Yes.
You cannot be, alien or ignorant of that thing you want to achieve. Then you say organize us.
So that's
so you will be led astray.
Mm-hmm. So the Constitution now. Okay, that's why the Constitution of America began with "We the people."
Yes.
And when we were photocopying or rank xeroxing, I think, listeners, we're all together in this. It is our nation, it is our communities, it is our families, it is we as individuals. Are you certainly satisfied with your level of life? There's an aspect of life that is ambition. But there's a level of life experience that tells you really wonder whether you're alive or not, because 10th of September was World Suicide Day. So you keep wondering, what is life? Why is life important? So, Ogero, When we say organize us, yes, because that's what we're saying. That okay, we will give you the power. You get busy with the structure, while we get busy with the things that are really close to our hearts, and then we pay you for giving your time to really sit
When
there.
you say organize us,
Yes.
you must be watchful of those you're giving the powers to organize you. Because sometimes they will organize in a way that somehow undermines you.
Because
It's what we are seeing in our polity today. You talked about America and their own constitution over there. Say, we the people. And truly, it is derived from we the people over there.
yes.
That is why today states still have their own constitution. The federal cannot lord it over the state. They say, look, we have federal laws, we have state laws. So you cannot tell us what to do. When we feel this thing is not to our own benefit as a state, we are not going to accept it. It is truly we, the people, that formed their own constitution.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you said earlier, when we were
Rank Xeroxing.
photocopying
When we
our,
were- when we were
photocopying our own.
No, long neck. I think it's long neck they call it, when you stretch your neck to look at another
To
person's
pick.
paper to pick. Yes.
So that's just it. So our own here is not the same thing. We the people is just like is a farce, because it does not encompass we the people. It is just for a few individuals. That's why you say, look, a man said, he said the people are a weapon of their own change. So we must understand that yes, we have picked a few people to speak or to organize us, but unfortunately they are not speaking and they are not organizing us. What they are saying simply is how to make themselves better. A while ago, we had a protest over in one of these countries, and then the reason why that happened has been blown all over the social media. This is why it happened, and then they were saying this and that and that. Sometimes there are things that are necessary when some steps needs to be taken. A kind of cleansing when you look at the direction things are going, because nothing happens in isolation.
And organizers should be peace building. Organizers should be just society. Organizers is to help us come together to relate better with other nations. So what are we getting? Is it that these people that we have chosen don't even understand the meaning of society?
Well, it's not that they don't understand. It's just that, well, I would say probably they don't understand, and self-interest is paramount. And you need to understand the level of ignorance among our rulers is very, very high compared to what we had post-independence, immediately post-independence or prior to independence. It's very high. You can imagine. I'm not saying this. I stand to be corrected. Call the councillor and engage him
In a conversation.
in conversation. You see then, if you look at it in the past, before the 60s, when you talk about a councillor in Lagos, you are talking about the elites. You
Yes.
see the caliber of people coming out to be a ward councillor, to be local government chairman, and maybe what have you. But look at what you're having now. You see motor parks out, you see speculators, you see people that don't have any clear-cut means of livelihood or any clear-cut education.
And you know, there was something that was very painful recently. A king who actually has dual citizenship. I think people should notice that. He's really a citizen of that land. And they felt because you've done this in our land and you are a citizen, this law applies to you, okay? Now the crown has disappeared. And you keep wondering. And the people that made him king are saying, no, we benefited from what he did, so we're not going to declare the seat vacant, okay? So I'm thinking, that's why I asked the question, that is it that these people that are, situated, somehow they just came into those positions, they don't know the meaning of the position? Because if you're going to build, you should know what a mortar is. You should know the cement, you should know the sand, you should know the measurement to construct with. So what are we really lacking?
The first and foremost, like William said, even the structure itself is like giving a building contract to a tailor. The foundation has always been faulty. The people you are talking, that cliche was never meant. Like you said, it was just copied hook, line, and sinker. We never had the way the people constitution. The closest we would have had is, I think, these two
Confab.
confabs. You understand? Where at least some people, although we don't know how they were chosen anyway, but at least they represented part of all segments of the society. That was the similar, the closest we would have had. The constitution you are talking about before independence, forget all the McPherson and all these, they were written by one person.
One person, yes.
Now, when we had the independence of 1963 and whatever, it was just a couple of people that were asked to. And it's only one person, I don't want to discuss, only one person that actually wrote it.
Oh, most of the time when you have these committees,
You
because
understand?
the people are
When
not
you have
even
committees,
conscious.
it's only the chairman that will write. He will sit down and write. If you don't concur, you will tell you to
And
go
you'll
to
be
place
copying
it.
and
Yes,
be
he will
checking.
tell you to go
Is
to
it
place it.
according to is it acceptable
That's-
in the global space?
That's why when you see most of our laws, you see some inputs that you wonder. It's like, it's so bad that you see they will copy pounds.
Yes, they do.
Pounds, and you now see pounds. When did we start using pounds in Nigeria? That's how bad it is. So the foundation has always been faulty. There was never any forum for us to sit down and fashion out a constitution for ourselves like you have in US. And it's so appalling that when you talk about it now, self-determination, people start talking about that you are trying to be a rebel, you are trying to be this, because even there was nothing, there was no cement to hold us together in the first place. You understand? That's the problem we're having, and that's why our rulers feel it's an opportunity for self-aggrandizement for them and their families alone, and that is it. But if you look at it, you see that it's an opportunity to serve. If it's an opportunity to serve, you shouldn't make it a do or die affair.
If it is an opportunity to serve,
You
you
shouldn't
shouldn't make it
a
a do or die
affair.
affair. So, do you think that there's a way forward? Because now that's why we're saying today is about voters and to be voted for education. If you're given the opportunity to go out there and serve, or who should really even qualify for that opportunity?
First, you asked if there is a way forward. There's always a way forward. If you are serious about the problems you have as a people or even as a home, the father looks at the home and says, look, we are not measuring up as a home. Then he'll have to question himself, be introspective and say, look, what are the things I must do? And who are those I must bring in to help me achieve these things? These are the questions that a good father will be asking concerning his home.
Because he's the manager
Yes.
of his home.
Of his home.
He's the director
You know,
of the home.
Ask the wife, are there areas I have not been a good husband? Are there areas I have not been a good
Repeat
father?
that, because I'm not sure many men can stand that question.
No, you must ask those questions because you are not perfect. Now, if there are areas, see, you cannot look at the mirror and be able to tell yourself what is truly wrong. It is someone that looks at you, that has been enduring you, that if that person loves you enough, tells you, look, these areas about your life, they are not worthwhile. You have to change
Criticism.
these things. So you look at the same thing as a country. If you have been elected to lead or to function in one place or the other, and you ask for feedback, there's always feedback, and they give you feedback. Instead of taking those feedbacks, you start to attack those that gave you the feedback, then which means you are not prepared to correct what is wrong. So there is always a way out. The people, I said earlier, the people are the weapons of their own change. So if you are tired of the way things are happening, how you are being led as a person or as a group, then at a point you must ask yourself, am I going to allow this kind of leadership to continue? And if I allow it, where exactly is it going to take me to? So that is what we are not asking ourselves as Nigerians. We see what is bad about how we are being led. But instead of focusing on those things that needs to be changed, we attack ourselves.
We are the weapons of our own change. But change is possible.
Definitely.
And change is going to cost us. What will it cost us?
Change will cost us a lot. It will cost us our sweat, our time, and our resilience, if we can call it that.
Awareness.
Yes. And what William just said, when you are talking about senile crimes, I always talk about senile crime because it's an irony that it's most of these our rulers that go overseas. They see the way things are done. They would rather go there. If they have the slightest headache, they go there instead of going to UCH or Adeoyo. And they've forgotten that if the government there decided to be as lackadaisical, maybe irresponsible as they are, would they have developed such facilities? They want to go on vacation. You see all our leaders, they want to go and rest overseas. And when it now comes to, when they put up structure, a Ministry of Tourism, they'll tell you there are monuments, go and spend your time at Kogosi, go to Calabar, go there. When they can go there.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? When they can afford, but they can't go there.
When the roads are not even safe.
You understand? And they'll tell us these are tourist centers, made Nigeria, proudly made in Nigeria. When they are not patronizing those proudly made in Nigeria entities. Now, like he said, when you want to aspire to leadership, or when we are looking at our leaders, we are criticizing them, because I believe in constructive criticism. I don't
Critical.
yes, constructive. I don't believe in just talking for. I don't even attack or talk to the individual. I look at the
system.
objection. You understand? I am always objective. I don't say the personality behind it. What I will say is that this thing that was done should have been done like this, but I tried. I don't care about the personality behind it. So what I believe is the action that has been done or not done.
The
Now,
issue.
yes. Now, when he talked about when we want to have a change, we don't look at the fact that, look, can this person do it?
Mm-hmm.
Can this thing be done?
Mm-hmm.
How can this thing be changed? That this current leadership, they have failed.
Mm-hmm.
If they have failed, why did they fail? Can we try something else? Can we suggest something else to them? But what we are only interested in is a regime change. We have only regime change. We don't have democracy in Nigeria. I need to tell you.
And the
It
people
is
that
just
we are voting for know
yes.
how to change
Yes,
to
just
put into the
regime
new
change.
regime.
What the person is interested in is how to replace him,
Mm-hmm.
not to solve the problems. So that's what Nigeria will need to. That's part of voter education. We are not. Their rulers are not interested in solving our problem. They are only interested in regime change. You have spent your 8 years. Oh yeah, it's my turn.
It's my turn.
You understand? So that's what they're interested, and that's why you don't see when they are talking about voter education, there are no issue-based discussions.
They
Call
think
anybody.
it's electioneering process
somebody
information.
One made it said we should put in our laws that there should be a debate, this national debate group. There should be debates at all levels. Have we done it? No. You see, most of the people that don't turn up are the ones that win election.
And I'm thinking that that debate should be a continuous thing. That means we get to know you. You're talking to us on certain issues, and we know, not when you go to a party, they now push microphone at you. What do you think of this
We
one?
have forgotten it's not possible. I told you the foundation. Now, part of our foundation, we're saying the people should be allowed to do the debates, right?
Yes.
Have we forgotten it's those people that are thrown up by the parties that will come up?
Mm-hmm.
You and I can't come up because we don't have a structure to stand on. And that's why people have clamored. I've been one of them to clamor that independent candidacy.
I agree.
Who is aggrieved or are afraid of independent candidacy? I should look at Williams. I feel Williams is somebody that can solve our problem.
Yeah.
He has ideas. He has contributed to, yeah, Williams, can't you go for this? Because he cannot go. The first thing they do to whittle
Must
down,
be to a party.
yes, you belong to a party. And that's why they are holding that thing sacrosanct. You must belong to a party. You understand? So if they have removed the leg for you to stand on, how can you stand? You understand? Just like a life jacket, we are trying to swim and survive in the ocean. Once they have removed the life jacket, that's the end of it. So those are the basic things that we're talking about. Throwing out debate, like we said, is it not the ones like that they throw up? Like they say, in the land of the blind, it's only the one-eyed man that is the king.
Yes.
Because he only has one eye, at least he can be telling them, yeah, when there's a river, he said there's a road. He can see, you can see. You understand? So you can't fault him or her. So the first thing is that this issue of freeing up the space, there should be most of us, and we have been franchised, so you don't know.
Oh, we know.
You cannot aspire to be governor.
anything.
You can't.
Because you're not
And
in
they
the
tell us
party.
in democracy, you can't aspire to be there. Because they tell you which pedigree do you have. Where did you start? Who is your political godfather? Which party are you going to? So everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry in Nigeria should be able to aspire. Even if he's a tout, even if he's a contractor, even if it's anything, let him have that right once he's popular. And you know about democracy, the funny thing about democracy is not about competence, it's about popularity.
And that also should, because there are structures in China, for example, that try to balance that.
China does not,
Not the communists.
Communists.
They have,
China does not. If you have such leaders in Nigeria, it would have been probably better. They take interest, they take actions or policies that is the best interest of the masses.
of the masses.
You understand?
One thing also I want to say is this. You see, I don't really care about the form of governance. I don't care. What governance is this. What are the changes you are bringing? How is your leadership affecting your people? Today we talk about China. Say it's a communist state. But what is China as a country? What is that country achieving on a daily basis? So it is a reference point. Even those that says they have a democracy, they are trying to fight against China so as to knock them off their pedestal. So it is not about the form of democracy, it is the individuals. Let's not forget, go to Dubai and Saudi Arabia. It is monarchy.
Yes.
So it is, for me, democracy is okay. But when you look at the democracy you are practicing, and you are asking yourselves, what are the benefits you've received as a country, as a people?
I think that the real problem has been the way we've been like Xerox. We already had empires in Africa, and they survived. Usually there's a rise and the fall of an empire, and you see what the person that your predecessor did wrong and where it went wrong, and another empire will arise on the ash and ashes of the one that had gone down. So we are not strange to governance. We're not alien. Human beings are always social animals. They always organize themselves. You know the strong that will go for the defense. You know the ones that will do the cooking. So it's when somebody comes to tell you that your system has issues. So we are behaving as if so that's why the Western idea of capitalism, socialism, they are talking about welfareism, they are talking about what is operatable in their space.
In their own space.
Nigerians have to come up with indigenous understanding and interpretation of our people's need.
That is the conversation we are not willing to have. See, there's this thing this guy said, Aristotle. He said, I consider braver a man that has conquered himself,
yes,
not his enemies. Now we throw up individuals that have not even conquered a fifth of themselves. They have no control over themselves, over their desires, they have no sense of discipline. We have this parable in my place. Say you don't send a child who is not ashamed to the marketplace. Today we send children that are not ashamed. We call them leaders and we push them forth to the global sphere. And each time they speak concerning us, they disgrace us. Each time they open their mouth and they say, how do you expect other countries to engage with you when they look at your leader? He is a child. See, we must have this very serious conversation. You cannot send a child to a gathering. It's like
to do a man's job.
It's like one man said, you cannot send a mouse to a gathering of cats and expect that mouse to come back with a victorious report. He won't come. That cat won't come out safe. So the same thing, we are sending individuals that are not prepared. The mind is not there. You must have something you are holding on to as a leader before you can go out and say, look, I want to go and attract.
You must be visionary.
Yes.
You must know the direction.
You must be grounded.
So what is stopping us from moving forward?
What's stopping us is, like he said, the kind of people we are sending there. Look at the national.
Are we sending there, or the people that are selecting themselves? They've hijacked governance.
Yes, now the people that impose themselves on us.
On us, okay.
Because look at the pedigree of the National Assembly we are talking about. Scandal we are talking about the one sexual assault, the one that was found in a sex store, the one that assaulted people. Look at it every day. You now want to wonder, are these the kind of caliber? These are the best people you have? Because you understand, are they the best people you have? You understand? And if we look at it again, I was talking about, ask the average member of a ruling
group,
not ruling group or cabal. They'll tell you they are politician. What's your career? What's your profession? What do you do? I'm a professional politician. You understand? That's what they tell you. They don't have jobs. Ask anybody in US Senate that doesn't have a job. They do
have
not
jobs.
They are professionals.
They're
and
entrepreneurs.
They are entrepreneurs. They are professionals. They are right. But here, ask him, what do you do for a living? I'm a politician. No. That is it. They have taken it now as a career. It just remains to be taught in schools now. That, politics as a career. And that was one day when there was a joke on that went viral. How many years ago? Almost 10 years ago now. They interviewed some small children in primary school. What do you want to do? One said, one of the pupils, because they were very young, said, I want to be rich. He did not say professional. He said, I just want to be rich. The other one said, I want to be a politician. The one now said, I want to be a kidnapper, so I'll kidnap the rich politician. You understand?
This one, instead of crying.
It may be funny, but
No, it's not funny.
It's
something we should be weeping about.
Go to our primary schools. Ask them what they want to be. They are looking at them, what they want to be. They don't look at the career, what they are talking about. They don't look at the aspiration. So that's how it has started. Now, when you look at these people that they will come, go there, you want to wonder. We have at least we have a change of regime about 4, 6, 8 times now.
Yeah.
We sit down and criticize. They didn't do well. Jonathan didn't do well. Obasanjo did badly. Even Buhari did astonishingly bad.
Abysmally bad.
Abysmally bad. The people they are now, what are they doing?
What are they doing? What are they
I
planning to
expected
do?
the first thing you do, we are talking about empowerment. Have we talked about having independent candidacy? What they are doing now is to ensure that once somebody wins, manages to win, it becomes very difficult to unseat. Look at what they are doing. Because if you look at it now, if you are talking about INEC, once somebody wins by mistake, INEC will support.
Yes, and even
They don't want to know whether he won fairly
Fairly.
or there was an error in the system. They have a duty. Now, what they are saying now, the INEC must support. You
You
understand?
see, on that issue is this: you cannot have an umpire that cannot address itself.
Yes.
That's what we have with INEC. INEC cannot address itself. INEC is afraid to address the situations. Now, we asked the question, which is the way forward?
INEC said they are just bulldogs without their teeth, because what they are working with does not empower them to tell, or has not given punitive rights to whoever offends against the campaign rule.
That, for me, is an excuse that is not going to hold water. Now, if you believe that you are not being equipped to act the way you are supposed to act, to be as effective as you should be, then what are you saying?
We will be discussing what he's really saying after this short break. So we are going to be discussing what he will be doing. And when you're given a lame tool, they say, let the workman not blame his tool.
Yeah.
But what if you were not given any tool? Lecturers are saying they're not given tools. Doctors are saying they're not given tools. Primary school teachers have told us before. Students are now to take loan on regarding their future in a nation where we don't have enough students.
You take a loan after you finish or you've graduated 6, 5, 7 years. There's no job for you. How do you pay back that loan?
These are the issues that we should be talking about, because a lot is happening. So what do we do? I think the one way, when we come back, we will be discussing it, because I think what should happen is that there's a need for restructuring, and nobody should be afraid of this restructuring. Everybody, when they are coming on, they say we will restructure. Then when they get there, they leave it alone. They don't want to touch it.
What I think we should do as a people is first refuse to be polarized, because that is one of the weapons they've used over time, and they are still using that same weapon. Refuse to be polarized, and there are some set of requirements that we all can agree on. These things must be set in place if you are coming forth to vie for any office. These are the basic requirements you must meet.
For example,
that we cannot argue or fight over.
Because
it.
right now, the people that are living outside Nigeria have more money to push into the system, and their friends are already bringing them in to be commissioners, even if they don't stay in the city. Do you know there are some commissioners that are not on seat, and then they are from somewhere else? They are not part of your community, but once they can send some dollars, some pounds, some euros home, and people can just talk on their behalf, it will do well. I'm your friend, it will do well.
These are the things that we must sit down and have a conversation
Where
around.
will we sit? Where will the masses sit?
You have to force the conversation. You see, those that we have right now, they are not going to allow us to have the right kind of conversation. You have to force the discussion. If you refuse to, in the next 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 years, we are going to be having the same conversation.
No, because the reason we won't even be having this conversation is because maybe it will be too dangerous to open your mouth at that time. Things we only get worse when we don't stand up to take up the reins of power. Power is the ability to get things done. So when somebody it's like throwing the power on the ground. Somebody is supposed to occupy that position, take the power and utilize it for everybody's good, so that some people can concentrate on their businesses, on their jobs, and the aspect they are strong at. But instead, the person is not understanding the position. The person thinks, now you've given me the power. And we can see it in all our associations, really.
Like Socrates said, I think Socrates or Aristotle said, when people are afraid of the government, it is what they call it, we run by the despots. A tyranny. But when the government is afraid of the people, that's the democracy.
That is democracy.
Are we practicing it?
Are we practicing it? Let's go for this break, after which the program continues.
A king's strength is not in his wealth or power, but in the loyalty and love of his people. Congratulations to the 44th OLUWAKEMI of Pensioners 106.7 FM. We extend our warmest felicitations as we approach your coronation on the 26th of September 2025. Pensioners FM joins the people of Ibadan in celebrating this momentous occasion. We honor Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja's ascension to this revered throne. High chiefs, esteemed politicians, high-profile individuals, and sons and daughters of Ibadan. Pensioners FM invites you to convey your congratulatory messages to the Oluwadan designate ahead of his coronation. Seize this opportunity to share your goodwill message on Pensioners 106.7 FM at an affordable cost. Contact us at Oyo State Pensioners House, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. Let's celebrate.
Yuga, ilé ayé ìdùn Yuga, níbi tàtún jayé dé àti jayé mọ̀lété, kése kéńkélété mo ti jayé challenge o, jẹ́lẹ̀ mo ti jayé dúgbẹ́dúgbẹ́, màwú dúgbẹ́dúgbẹ́, má bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ má jó gbẹ̀dú, lólúyọ̀lé yọ̀lé ilé, àwọn ọmọge wọ́n bí jó bàtà. Mélòó láyé tẹ́ni má ṣe fàájì àjàyè orí mi kẹlẹ́lẹ́ àjíjó jẹ́sẹ̀ dáadáa àmọ́ ọwọ́ kan sí ìbàdí amúkejì sí pàkọ́ máa dá síyá máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ gẹ̀jìgẹ̀ máa jóbọ̀ lọ́jọ́ èmi gangan àìdòkíá bóun yìí kẹ́ máa gbérú mọ́ èmi yóò máa mi ní kìlìkì ọ̀tá mi yóò máa bẹ́ kiri bẹ́ gìlàgìlà lásán. Àwọn tèmi lágbowó, àwọn làwọn nẹ́wọ́, gbogbo wọn ní ṣe fàájì lórí gọ̀ọ̀mẹ̀. Ẹ dákun ẹ má máa bá wọn sọ pé kò sólówó lágbowó, gbogbo owó all the money kúdíkúdí, ó bẹ lọ́wọ́ àwọn yàfùyàfù, má tètè bá wọn lọ àríyá. Èmi láyé mi, èmi nìkan, ó tún jayé mọ́kànlá, kọ́lá ò kọ́lá wọlé, ọba àjọ mi wọ́n mi jó tùǹgbà, ẹ̀dá mi má ṣe mí lọ́lọ́kù, abẹ́rẹ́ mọ́lẹ̀ má kúrú bọ́ ìdí, lólúyẹ̀lé yọ̀lé ilé, ajáyé orí mi kò sóṣì, ẹni bá wù kó máa wù, àwa ò lè ṣaláì má jayé, ẹ̀bùn mi lọ́mọge ọjọ́, ìlera mi yàfi jọlọjọlọ. Ìgbà mélòó la lò láyé tẹ́tí ń péjọ rojọ́ mi, ẹ ẹjọ́ ẹlẹ́jọ́.
If you've been watching us on Facebook and of course the YouTube, you would have noticed that there is this heavy discussion going on here. We are really concerned. Which way forward? Which way Nigeria? Which way? What model should we use? We stole the "we the people" phrase. We don't understand the people. I mean, what people are we talking about? Is it the rulers and the voters? What kind of voters are they? Are they just there to just append their thumbs and then be silent for the next 4 years or 2 years or whatever tenure, while the man that is at the top cannot be recalled? Though we appended our signature to send, if he's not representing us, if he's not doing what we asked him to do, we should say, look, you're not representing us, come back home. Let somebody else go out there and speak for us. Or a situation where you have a whole region. The senator has not been sitting for 6 months. She's representing a whole people, and then the voice of those people is not heard. So what are we saying? What kind of nation do we have? What is even the purpose of life? I love what one musician said. Ashogun Layeni. Are we really here just to fight? Or are we here to live, to experience peace and develop? That is the question. The studio lines to call 0706 639 1367. Yes, you can be part of the conversation. The studio lines 0907 285 2977. I'll take the lines again. 0706 639 1367 or 0907 285 2977. What can we do? How are we going to go forward? We know that in Nigeria we like peace. We don't want to fight in any direction. So what model should we use? And we shouldn't be fighting, because even if there is war, you will end up discussing. So I think I like our predisposition. However, we cannot shy away from the fact that we are not where we are at, and it seems we're not even facing the direction of where we want to go to.
If you want to have a great nation, then you must be willing to have the difficult conversation. That is where we must start from. What are the things that forms the foundation of this nation that are crooked?
Because the foundation was by somebody amalgamating incompatibles together.
Now that is the foundation.
That's
now
the foundation.
over time we have become aware that what was done was not to our benefit.
And we had an opportunity after 100 years to have this conversation. Instead of having the proper, we had a similitude of the conversation, the confab. And when the confab came, we celebrated it with a new note, which is now not the note again. So meaning?
No, each time we convince ourselves that we are going to have a conversation, we are always shallow with the conversation.
For example, the constitutional review.
So that is not the conversation. It's like an ostrich conversation with the sand. Here, so we must take ourselves away from such conversations. We have had a lot of such, and we must ask ourselves, these conversations, what they do for us.
For example, our oil refineries, we had 4 that couldn't function. One individual came up in less than 5 years, did the unthinkable.
Like I said, it's why we are talking about the conversation itself. Have we even had conversations?
Not
even
yet.
The comfort we are saying is just a semblance.
And they did not allow us to even get the result of that.
And the issue, let me tell you, it's just like how you placate when you talk to your infant, your small child. Palliative. Not even palliative. He's crying. How you are crying. Well, what happened? Who beat you? This person beat me. Okay.
Why did you beat him? Why did you beat him?
That's what they do. Do you feel that you have gotten to power and you feel your power is being threatened? What do you want? Comfort? You want to talk? Come. I'll put you in the best hotels. If you know the billions of naira we spent,
they give 10 million to each person.
On that comfort, hotel and everything, come and say. And by the time they were saying, they are already forgotten what we wanted, the essence of their coming together. So after that, you have down the tension. Now you come in, you are 10 million richer. That's the least they paid anyway.
Yes, the least.
They stayed in 7 or 5-star hotel. You are giving gifts and everything. So you have down the tension. And by the time you now ask him, hey, what were you saying, comrade? Don't worry.
You don't even know that these leaders are suffering.
So it's just this forum we are talking about, or fora now, is just to placate some people Not
Will it
not
be?
because we actually wanted to have the conversation. It's just to plaque it. You want to talk? Okay, come and talk. You
Now, I'm looking at this trend now. We're complaining that we don't want increased taxation. And suddenly they said, oh, we're no longer going to take some money off airtime. I'm thinking this is now another placation for the young people. Let's just go for this commercial break, after which the conversation continue.
Ada, why you dey tear eye like this?
Light no dey and I don buy for your tire.
Na im be say you never hear about Olade innovative concept OIC Solar. OIC Solar na dem be reliable renewed energy company wey dey sell solar power devices or electronics like electric bike, electric tricycle, solar freezer, solar street light, solar floodlight including plus solar camera. If na solar power system installation for industrial and domestic use, na dem be Baba. Solar power kit with 3, 4 or even 5 bulbs wey still get phone charging port sef dey. For retailers, more na no worry. Accessories dey for solar panel, solar batteries and inverter, and dem dey also repair am. The koko of the tori na say OIC Solar dey run Ember Month promo. Oya churches, mosques, companies and filling stations, in fact domestic users, more na dey run come OIC Solar wey dey for shop C4 NTA shopping complex Agodi Gate Ibadan and shop 1 and 16 Zamzam complex Kulodi Ibadan Ife Expressway. For more tori, visit them for www.oicsolar.net or OIC Solar 1 on Instagram and TikTok, or summon them on top 0810 502 0388.
Yes, you're welcome back from that commercial break. And like the conversation is going on, what should we do? We're saying we have never really met over this nation called Nigeria. In fact, we didn't choose the name. I think that's the beginning of the problem. We didn't choose the name. The anthem was written for us. When we even struggled to come up with one, nostalgic adults decided that time when we were singing it as children, standing in the rain, it was very sweet. And then the words, we cannot be going for a solution of 60s in 2025, so we need to have it's not the song, it is what is our heart saying, it is where we belong, it is what we're doing. And please have these conversations on your table. What are the issues? We are hungry, that is easy, and we're not investing in agriculture.
You just talked about say the words are inspired by the vision.
Yes.
Because the words carries weight if you know what the vision is. So we again, what is the vision of this nation? These are the conversations. Now we have not been able to integrate this country. That is a fact. So if you truly want what is best for this nation, you ask yourself, how do we begin to integrate this country?
How can we as a nation be defending murderers and watch the people killed and the people they left behind rot in IDP camps? And some Nigerians will still go there and eat up the food. So we are saying that we are a great people where we are scattered. What are we going to use to bring cohesion? How are we going to run this nation? What conversations should we be having? What should be our attitude towards criticism?
There is this. Okay, all right.
Paula, please.
Like you are saying, we need to address the issue again. Voter education. The first thing we need to do, we need to agitate for our leaders to interface with us.
Local government.
You understand? From local government,
Ward level,
we need to engage them. You understand? We shouldn't just say because it's this.
He's bringing money.
Party,
he has been abroad. See Paris and die.
Yeah, it's somebody that party has thrown up, so we must follow him because we like party A, or because party B has not thrown up that person, we don't like party B. We need to engage. Okay, you are the one now. What? How do you intend to solve this? And aside from that, voters need to understand that ultimate power lies with them, not the leaders. When we're talking about rulers and whatever, ultimate power lies with the voters, because they are the one that crown or empower the leaders. Without you, there are no leaders. So they need to understand your one vote matters. Before, it didn't really matter. like we said, they didn't want us to vote. They were just
They'll just go there
go to
till
voter
the
station, they will just shoot in the air. You run away, they carry the
ballots.
But because kudos to INEC too, let's give them small kudos.
Yes.
With the
Beavers
and all the technology in place, they are trying to streamline. That's why you're having as if there's voter apathy. There's no voter apathy because the true reflection of number of voters present is now showing.
population.
That is why we are now seeing that there is voter apathy. Where you used to have 5 million, the whole of that community is up to 3 million. But during election, you now see a single person having 5 million votes. The other will have around 1 or 2 million. You now wonder, where are these people coming? Are the ghosts coming to vote too? You
Or
understand?
the pregnancies.
The pregnancy.
The
Yes.
fetus
But
are
because of
voting.
this technology now, we are reducing.
Yes.
So you're actually seeing the actual number of people voting. Not there's voter apathy now. People, there's even an increase in the voters
registration.
So it is the figure we've been having before.
So if we can trust that people can just register online,
Yes.
we have NIN, we have BVN and all that. So why can't we vote online?
Online.
See, if we are voting within our communities, it's very easy. So we must go back to the right
we don't want
structure.
to address it online. A student I had several years back, a student of LASU, designed a system that they use in electing their student at school.
Yes, we
It was
vote.
online.
Most things we do now
It
is
was online.
we vote online now.
Online, so it's not possible. Someone was telling me in UK that when they are coming to vote, you vote from your houses. They will call you the first time, you say the name of candidate you're voting for. They will call you 2 or 3 times to confirm. After the third time, they will now vote on your behalf. That there are times when somebody will come to when you are doing the physical voting, you go there about 5, 6, 7 tables, depending on the number of parties you have, and want to say, okay, I want to vote for comrade. Comrade? No, I'm not comrade though. That's a table, 3 or 4 tables away. Have a nice day. And that is it, because there's no acrimony. You are meant to serve, not force yourself on people. Somebody will come to your table and say, no, I'm not the one. You are mistaking me. The next table is the person you are trying to vote for. Can you do that in Nigeria?
I also saw a thing like that where an aspirant was directing a voter, as he just said, look, I am not the one you want to vote for. That is the person's
Desk.
queue. An aspirant himself is running in that same position.
That is how it should be.
Because you somebody came to the polling station with a mind made up. The work that should have been done must be done before they come to the polling stations to vote. Now, you don't have to go and stay at the polling stations when you have done the work of actually campaigning, telling people what you want to do and how you want to do it.
They don't want to do it because
don't
I
want to
remember
do it.
during an election, somebody walks up to me and told me, hey, I know you. Of course, I know you. So you vote for me. And I said, are you okay? Really? I mean, as old as I am, I will not know who I want to vote for. And very soon, I saw the husband coming with someone. I told him, get out of here because you shouldn't be here. So that is why we're talking to you right now. The individual catastrophe can be predicated because of the societal lack of structure, the jelly-like, environments we live in. But you can change it in your own community. You change it by discussing with your children. They should go and get their voters card. Then explain to them, what is governance? Why is it important? What is your role as a citizen in that community? How do you now stand by your mandate?
If I have my way, before, we used to have history.
Yes.
They have removed history because they are trying to remove our tradition and culture. They don't want them to understand.
They don't want us to remember slavery
That's
too.
why we have a lot of all these youth waywardness and what have you, because there's no
purpose.
model.
No outcome for them.
They don't look forward to that. You've seen this king, you've seen this person, you've seen that. No, it's not there. I would have even suggested government ought to be compulsory, whether you're science or commercial or
Agreed.
it should be
In
compulsory.
a nation that is developing,
Yes.
it must be
It must
compulsory.
not just biology. Government should be compulsory so that you know how you fit into a system.
When you want to change a society, you make history mandatory, you make government compulsory. So
Civic responsibilities.
no, they teach civic education because they want you to comply,
Because they are always trying to streamline the things they want the people to know.
configure you so that
is
you
the
lose your
problem.
mind.
So when you have cunning individuals coming to man delicate space. You look at how they are acting. You know if they are for you or if they are against you. Again, the people, we just
They don't want to persuade you. They want to
having a
force
discussion
you.
about the people.
Yeah.
It eventually falls on the people.
Yes.
Because you must be clear about what you want. You can't be crying on the one hand and then you turn your back on the solution.
And be dancing
you
around
cannot
them.
say because you are thirsty, then you now convince yourself that sand will quench your thirst. That's foolishness. So we must not keep saying, this and that. And somehow somebody is coming to you. And you know this person first is not from the community. He has no idea what is going on in the community.
And you made him a
yet
king.
you allow someone to convince you that this person is the best for you. And after you've brought him in and he's doing nothing, you start complaining.
After you have brought him in and you start complaining, why are we complaining? Why are you voting strangers? You see, strangers are strangers. It does not matter whether they were here before and they've gone for 10 years. They now don't know your pain. In fact, when it got too hot, they left the pot. So all of us have a duty. We all have a responsibility to make this world a better place for generations that are coming. And those generations coming are your children, their children, your great-grandchildren. So do we want a great Nigeria? Do we want a great Africa? Then there are difficult questions to be answered.
We should refuse to buy the idea of voter apathy. Government is always saying everywhere there's voter apathy here, voter apathy there. It's not true. They want voter apathy. They want us not to be concerned who is elected. And it's our own duty now to ensure that there is no voter apathy. Your one vote matters. Your one vote matters a lot. Make sure you get your PVC and go there and vote. Your candidate may not come in this time, but once you keep on piling, that your one vote will matter one day and will now tilt the scale in favor of your own candidate. So don't just say, I'm not. After all, my candidate did not come in the last election. It doesn't matter. Keep on climbing that mountain or that tree. One day you will climb to the top.
And make sure that candidate knows what you expect of him. And you.
Well, you have to be hungry for information. And then you must ask the right question. And whoever you want to vote for, you have a right, a duty to have him explain to you
why
what
you should be
really
the person
he wants to do and how he wants to do the thing. Because in most cases, they'll say, I'm going to give you this.
How?
But you must ask him, break it down.
And why do you want to give me this thing?
Someone said, I will give you insecurity. And he was campaigning to be a governor of a state.
And he will give you
that
insecurity.
That alone. And somehow we convinced ourselves that it was a slip of tongue. So we must stop convincing ourselves against the questions that we must ask and demand solution.
And I want to say this. Nigerians are changing. People are beginning to shake structures that are not standing firm. If you are a leader today, you are in a position to change the future. And I tell you, there's going to be a generation, one day, someday, in this land that we know that 255 million people are
Has
a
a
great
voice.
nation and they have a voice and they want to stand for the truth, because we cannot continue in this direction. We cannot. And so it must become the talk on every table. Stop thinking it is happening from somewhere. It is you. You are involved and God will help all of us. So your last take, Bola.
My last take is just like he has said, we should refuse to be bothered. What we need to do to take steps, we should not just stay on the sideline or on the fence like William said and expect change to
Somebody
come
else
from
to
above.
do it.
You understand? We should be the change. Change should start with us.
And when somebody comes to you and said, this question you are asking, let me give you 5,000 naira to stop asking the question. Know you are on the right track.
Good. So now we have, the concept crew has told you so many things. There is nothing like voters apathy. Go and vote. It's not a general thing. You as an individual, go and cast your vote. And of course, tell your children to get their own cards. As they are turning 18, they should get their cards. And of course, if somebody is telling you, this question is too hard, do you think Nigeria can change? Yes, Nigeria must change. It's not just can it has to, because this direction is leaving our children starved, is keeping our children out of school, is breaking down our families. Many fathers are running around, people are dying because there are no drugs. So this direction is not working for us. Therefore, we must change. Well, that is all we have to take today from the Concept crew. Thank you so much, Bola. Thank you, Williams. And of course, thank you, Abdul Wahib. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the studio. And of course, I acknowledge my producer, Idris Abiola, and the executive producer, Babatunde Tiami. Till we come your way next time, I am OLUWAKEMI Ademola Aremu. Please get informed about politics.